Hello good people and welcome to Excel for Work. Our goal in this training series is to show you how you can use Microsoft Excel's features, tools and formulas to work smart and improve productivity at the office. In our first topic, we want to look at the overview of Microsoft Excel and also master some useful shortcuts. Let's switch to our learning objectives. So at the end of this topic, you will understand Microsoft Excel's interface. You also learn how you can personalize the ribbon and the quick access toolbar to help you work faster at the office. You also learn how to master some useful shortcuts for navigation and formatting. So as with all new subjects, we'll take it from basic or beginner. If you open a new Excel worksheet, there are some features, tools and commands that can be very useful. We are going to use this session to walk you through a structured way to appreciate the interface of Microsoft Excel. So depending on the version you are using, most likely the first thing you see when you open a new Excel workbook, which would have at least one worksheet, is the quick access toolbar. So the quick access toolbar is that green, grey, black or white bar on top of your Microsoft Excel interface. So what you can actually see this with is the save icon or the diskette icon here. In most cases you have the auto save also here. A very useful feature. The goal is to be able to stamp the things that you use often at the office. So if you do a lot of print and previewing, you do a lot of spell check, you don't have to go through the ribbon to find them. You can always come to the quick access toolbar after you put these icons here and easily access them. So what is obvious in the quick access toolbar is this drop down. So if you hover your mouse, you see this drop down. There will be some icons or commands that are already here, so you can just click and then you add to the quick access toolbar. If you find that what you use is not here, you can go to more commands. So you can click on more commands and this brings you to the main page for managing your quick access toolbar. You see to your left the popular commands, and then to your right you see the commands that are already in your quick access toolbar. The process of adding a new command is very easy. So as an example, one common feature that I encourage those who work with Outlook to use is the email feature. So as an example, I'll select this and then I'll click add, and then it moves to my list in the QAT. Now when I click OK, I'll find that this has been added, and this is going to stay the same for all workbooks that I open in the future. So if I'm connected to Outlook, with this I can always send this workbook, and this connects directly to my Outlook without stepping out of my Excel environment. So you can also find some useful tools that are not in the popular commands. If you switch to all commands, you have the full list of everything possible that you can add to your quick access toolbar. So that is the first feature in your Excel interface. Now when you step down, you find what we call the command tabs or the ribbon tabs. Okay, so these are sitting on top of your ribbon to make it easier for you to find related commands or icons. Now obviously what starts in most applications is the file. So here you can see some of the recently opened files, but what is important here when you come to file is you can see the version of Excel that you are using. Okay, so you can use file at that level, but it helps if you are able to understand what goes on under every tab, and it has been grouped that way to make it easier. So for home, usually what happens here are icons or commands for formatting. Okay, so you have font, alignment, styles, and all those things here. And then when we go to insert, this is useful for bringing in elements, example charts, tables, pivot tables, shapes, and all that are not usually part of your working area by default. Then for page layout, this is usually good for printing, page setup, okay, managing your sheets and all that. So if you are always printing, this whole group can help you with setting up your page for printing or even saving as PDF. When we go to our formulas, here there is a logical grouping of all the over 500 functions in Microsoft Excel to make it easy for you to access them. Over here you can also name some cells or ranges. Okay, you can also use this to audit your formulas and all that. So everything to do with calculations and formulas, you can find it here. Then we move to data. Data is used for analyzing data, connecting to data, transforming data, reporting on data. These are some of the common tools you find under this tab. Then when we go to the review, you get tools for proofing, for workbook management, protection, spell check, and all those things. And then view helps you manage the views of your worksheet. Normally the developer tab is not present, so here we'll learn how to add some tabs and take away or rearrange the tabs. So if you want to manage any of the command tabs here, you can right click and then you see the option to customize the ribbon. So I can click on customize the ribbon and we come to a similar page we saw earlier in the quick access toolbar, but here you see to our right the tabs that are currently on our ribbon. So the ones that are checked are active, but the ones that are unchecked are not active. So as an example, if you find that developer is not there, you can check to activate it. Now while we are here, we can learn how to create your own custom command tab where you can put the icons or commands that you use often at the office. You realize that in the architecture, when you create a new tab, it should be followed by a group, and then in that group you can put any of these icons in that group. So let's work on creating a new tab that would house all the things that we use often. To start, you can click on new tab. So note where you are standing before you start this process. So I've closed all my tabs. So when I click on new tab, it comes after the developer tab. So it creates a new tab. It hasn't named it yet, so I can click on this and then use rename. Okay, so for this purpose I can call it my tab, and then you click OK. Every tab has a group, so think of the grouping as the sections that sit under the command tabs. So again, let's say you want to create a group for data analysis. In this group you can rename it and then call it data analysis. You have the option to bring in an icon to make it easier to identify if you are creating several groups. So here I can now bring in any of these commands under my group. So as an example, if I want to add conditional formatting, I can click on conditional formatting. I am still in this group and then add. Okay, so let's say I also want to add the option to freeze panes. I can also add that as well. So I have created a tab called my tab in a group called data analysis, and these are the icons I've put in there. When I'm done, I can click OK, and as you would expect, this new tab appears after the developer tab, and when I click, I've created my own tab here. I can create another group, okay, and then fill it with the common commands that I use often in the office. So if you want to go back and take it off, you can right click, go to customize the ribbon, okay, and then you click on this, right click, and then you choose remove. Everything here will go, and then you click OK. So that is an overview of the command tabs and the ribbon and how you can use these to personalize how you work with the command. So we learned the quick access toolbar, we've gone through the command tab. This is the ribbon. When you step down, you have what we call the name box. The role of the name box is to show you your current location, that is your cell address. It also has another role of transporting you to any location. So let's say that you are currently in any cell and then you want to go to another cell. You can press Alt F3. So Alt F3 would activate the name box, and if you want to go to example F90, you hit enter and it brings you to F90. Okay, if you want to go back, you can press home, or you can use the same Alt F3, press A1, enter, and then you are back here. Okay. In subsequent topics, we will learn how to use a name box to name a cell or also name a range. Next to the name box is the formula bar. So in the formula bar, you are able to see the content of a cell. It can be constant, it can be formulas. So if I step in any cell, sometimes I can type here, okay, and then let's say I'll paint this white. On the surface of the work area, I cannot see this, but the formula bar reveals the content of a cell for me. Usually good to audit the content of a cell. If you want to expand the formula bar, you can press Ctrl-Shift-U. So Ctrl-Shift-U expands the formula bar. Ctrl-Shift-U also rolls it back. So that is the formula bar. Now let's take a look at our work area. So in Excel, this is your work area. The basic unit for data entry in Excel is a cell. A cell is made up of a column and a row. So you look at it this way, that the intersection of a column and a row gives us a cell, and every cell then has a column and a row parent. It makes it easier when we come to learning absolute, mixed, and relative referencing. When I select more than one cell, I have selected a range. Now we are able to show or tell the address of a range using the top left cell and the bottom right. So currently I have selected E5 to H13. Okay, we'll explore more in the work area in the next topic. Now, when you look down, you have your worksheet tabs. So these are your worksheet tabs. If you inherit a workbook that has a lot of worksheet tabs, if you look in the bottom left, you see these two arrows, one pointing left, one pointing right. When you right click in the middle, you release all the worksheet tab names. So that makes it easier for you to have an overview of what is in there, so you can select and then you can go and access. Then if you want to also use shortcuts to navigate the worksheet tabs, on a typical keyboard you can press Ctrl page down to move right, Ctrl page up to move to the left. If you are using a modern keyboard, you may have to add function, Ctrl function page up and down to navigate to the left or right. Okay, so this is to give you an overview of what you typically meet in a brand new Excel worksheet. So we are going to build on this in subsequent videos and learn how we can take advantage of all these sections to help us work smart and improve productivity. In the second part of this topic, we want to learn some useful shortcuts, especially as we begin our journey in Excel. So if you look at your directional keys, you have up, down, right, and left. If you add the shift key to any of these directional keys, example, if you are going right and you hold the shift key, you have all the cells in that direction selected. Okay, so Shift and any directional key will help you select a contiguous range of cells, okay, in that direction. So we've learned how to add the Shift to any directional key. What of Control? So if you add Control to a directional key, it would go all the way to the end of the worksheet until it meets data. So if I put data here and I start from this point, holding Control and the down arrow key will give me stops at every point where there is data. This trick is usually good for navigating bullets or points. Okay, so that is Control and down. Now, if I have data and let's say I want to select the data in a range. So example, I am copying these X letters across this range. I can select the whole thing using Control Shift Right. So Control Shift Right will go all the way to the end of the data. Okay, same thing if the data goes down. Okay, Control Shift Right, Control Shift Down will select everything. Or in this data block, you could simply do Control A to select everything. Now, one important navigation tool, especially when it comes to the ribbon, is the use of the Alt key. So pay close attention to what you see here. If I press the Alt key once, you see that my command tabs light up with these alphanumeric labels. It is one quick way to use the ribbon without the mouse. So as an example, if I want to go to view, instead of using my mouse to go to view, I can press W. It gives you that same feeling of clicking with the mouse. And these keys, you press them one after the other. So when you open the command tab with W, whatever submenu is under that command tab also shows. So if I want to take off the grid lines, I'll press VG, okay, and my grid lines are gone. Same way, if I want to bring it back, I press Alt, W for view, and then VG, one after the other, to bring back my grid lines. Now let's switch to the shortcut sheet and let's go through some examples. So we've already learned that Shift and the directional keys will select the cells or the range in the contiguous way. Now, if I want to select an entire column, I can use Control Spacebar, usually useful when I want to highlight the content of a cell. The alternative with selecting a row is to use Shift and Spacebar. We already learned how to use the Alt combination to bring or take off the grid lines. So Alt WVG to give me that, to take off the grid lines. I can highlight a range and then apply border lines using Alt H for home, B for borders, okay, and then A for all borders. Okay, so here I can apply any border line using the Alt HB combination. Next up, if I want to resize a column width, so as an example, you see this H is squeezed here. I can press Alt H for home, O for format, and then W for column width, and then probably put in 20 to expand this. Okay, so that is another way you can use the Alt combination. So you can take this worksheet or this workbook and then see if you can practice your own Alt combination using these examples. Now the last set of shortcuts we are going to look at is how to format numbers. So here we are going to look at how to format using general number, time, date, currency, or percentage. In all these, we are going to use the Control-Shift combinations. So we start with how to format general. These are also available here, but instead of using the mouse, we'll use the Control-Shift combination. So we have this number, and if you hold Control-Shift and tilde, which is the key under escape, that worm-like key, you can convert any number to a general format. Okay, so Control-Shift-Tilde. When you move next to the tilde, you see exclamation mark or 1. So Control-Shift-1 will format to a comma separated 2 decimal place number. Excel reads 1 as 24 hours. So if you have any data that is reading between 0 and 1, it is a fraction of the day, and that's how time is denoted in Excel. So 0.89 technically represents 89% of the day. So if I do Control-Shift-At, I get the real time. Same with dates. Excel reads dates as the number of days from 1st January 1900. So if you download any data and you have these ranges, okay, you can use Control-Shift# to format as a proper date. Based on your default currency setting, if you have any number and you press Control-Shift 4 or the $sign, you get it formatted in currency. And then you can also format in percentages by using Control-Shift-5 or percentage. You realize that these keys are all in the same line when you start from tilde. Lastly, for engineering purposes and formatting long numbers, you can also use Control-Shift-6 or the caret sign, and this will truncate and give you the number expressed in exponential forms. So this is our first topic in this series. We have gone through the interface of Microsoft Excel. We learned how to personalize the ribbon and the QAT to make us work faster, and also we mastered some useful shortcuts for navigation and formatting. Please download the workbook, which you can find in the notes section of the YouTube channel, and you can practice along. Thanks for watching, and look out for the next topic. If this video was helpful and you would like to receive more of these videos directly on your WhatsApp, you can send ad to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list so you receive our videos directly. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Finance Skills Hub. All our old videos are here. Please subscribe for notification of new videos, or connect with us on any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.